The before-after component is an advanced, fully customizable comparison slider for images, videos, or any other content. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works. To get started, let's add a before-after component to our page. Now, by default, we need to add a before image and an after image. So I'm going to do that now. And there you'll see we get a preview of those in Elements. The options down the side here allow us to set the sizing height mode. So by default, it is aspect ratio. We can change this to any aspect ratio we want. So if we choose 1, it's a square. Or if we go back to the 7:5 default, you'll see we get that set up there. We also have a fixed height. So this is in pixels. You can fix the height of the component, or you can have a dynamic height, and that also needs an initial height on load. But the dynamic height will automatically resize the height of the component in the browser based on the content inside of it. We'll go into more detail in that in just a bit. For this example, we're going to leave it as aspect ratio. We also have an option for orientation. By default, it is vertical, but you can also have a horizontal divider as well. There are animation settings. Again, by default, those are turned off, but you can have the divider animate back and forth on hover or auto. Auto will ensure that the divider is animated continuously whilst it's on the page. There are settings for the divider, so that's the divider line here. We can set the start position to anywhere along the axes. And again, that works for both horizontal and vertical. We're going to set that to 50%. And you can change the width of this as well. So by default, it's 1. We can go up to 10 to make that a lot larger. And we can change the color of that as well. If we want to use the brand color, we can do so. And you'll see that live updating in the editor. Let's set that back to 1. And next we have a grab handle. So by default, the grab handle is set up to allow you to add any other component into here. So you can design your own grab handle. You can turn that off if you don't want one. We are going to leave that on, and I'm going to show you very quickly how to create a custom grab handle. To do that, I'm going to use a button, and we are going to turn off the text. We're going to set sizing to 3:3, like so. We're going to turn off the spacing. Actually, let's make that a little bit larger. Let's go 10:10 so that you can see that working. And I'm going to set the borders to full. So we get a full rounded circle. Just to give you a very quick example of how you can design a custom grab handle. Now you could take this further and add SVGs, icons, text, whatever you want in here. You can design this handle yourself. And I'm going to show you some other examples later. So that's the grab handle. Now, by default, as I said, the content mode is images, but we also support drop zones. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. But when you do choose drop zones here, you can then drag in any other components that you want from Elements directly into these comparison areas. So you can see here we have a before and an after. So you're going to be able to design whatever you want to compare directly in here. And again, I'm going to show you this example in just a bit so you can see exactly how this works. So if we preview this in the browser and we come down, you can see we get a comparison before-after component setup. When we click and drag on this, you can see that we can drag to mask and show the two images that we have set up. This component works flawlessly across all devices, including touch devices. So when you press on this on a mobile device, you can drag the slider across as well. Now let's go back to Elements and turn on the hover animation. We can leave the duration to 3. When we go back to the live preview and we hover over the component, you can see that that auto plays. When we take the mouse out of there, it will automatically stop. Okay, if we turn that to auto, you can see that that automatically plays continuously no matter where my mouse is. That just plays continuously. Okay, I've got the before after project that ships with this component open here, and this will give you some more advanced examples of how you could use this component. So if we scroll down, you can see here we have compare custom content. In this component, we have set up the mode to be drop zone. So you can see here, if I choose the before and after, you can see that content being changed. So you can preview both of the content areas live in Elements. Now you can see here, what I've done is I've set up a flex, and I've got other content inside of there. So you can see here we've got flex inside of flex and a text, but you can add any content you want inside of here for comparison. So if I preview this in the browser and we come down to that example, you'll see we have this before text and after text. So this isn't just two images, this is multiple components being set up inside of Elements, and it allows you to compare that content seamlessly in the same way as the images can be compared. Okay, the next example I want to show you is comparing videos. So in the same way that we have drop zone support here, we're just using the exact same settings. So we have the mode set to drop zone, and all we've done is added a video in both the after and before content. But in the after content, we have filters set up to saturate that video. So when we preview that in the browser, you can see we have two videos set up. We're masking them both, and one of them has saturation sets and the other one doesn't. So we're comparing two pieces of content. Again, this could be anything that you want it to be. All you need to do is set up the drop zone on the before after component and then add your content into here. The next example is a vertical slider. So I showed you that earlier with the settings, but this is exactly how it works. You just drag in the same way you do with a horizontal slider. The interesting thing to note here is we've set up a custom grab handle by using a flex and two SVGs. So this makes the component very customizable. You can add anything you want into here as a grab handle. I showed you how to set up a button, but you can very easily add a flex and some SVGs to create this effect here. Okay, the next example is animated on hover. Now, I've already shown you this earlier, but just to re-illustrate this technique, the divider will animate automatically so long as my mouse is hovering over the component. So if I take that out, you'll see that it automatically stops. And it's as simple as setting the before and after component to animate on hover. You can change the duration, as I said before, to make this slower. If we set that to 60 and we hover over, you'll see it moves very slowly across the image. Okay, the next example that I want to show you is an advanced custom content. So in here, again, we have set up the mode to be drop zone, and we have a before and after content. So the before content is essentially a light mode colored version of the content, and the after content is using a dark saturated version. All of this content is editable. So in the same way that you can edit the content in any other area of your site, you can drop in any content into these drop zones for the before and after content and have the before after component compare those two. So when we go back to the browser and we view that example, you can see here we have the light mode colored version on the left and the dark saturated version on the right, and the before after slider works flawlessly with that content as well. So again, you can put images, videos, or any other content you want to compare directly in this component. Now the last example I want to show you is a custom start position. So on the before after here, we have set the start position to be 25%. We could very easily turn that to 75 if we want to start over on the right hand side here. And again, all we're using is a custom drop zone in here, and we've set up an SVG inside of a flex just to give you a nice comparison there. So again, if we go to the browser and preview that, you'll see that we're starting over on the right hand side here, and we are comparing two SVGs with colored backgrounds. So that is the before after component. Very flexible, very customizable. You can place images, videos, or any other components from elements inside of here to compare them. I hope you enjoy the component, and I'll see you in the next one.